Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if care is not taken, this House, somebody will come and fill a form that his wife calls him man love. Then that will be added to his name. Somebody's wife will call him man king. Then that will be his title. Then it becomes something like that. So, Mr. Speaker, we have official titles which are recognized officially. And Mr. Speaker, it is for this very reason that even the word honorable became a subject for ruling in our law court. So, if the honorable minority leader can explain, the Speaker, simply because this is a house, this is an august house. If you are giving warrior titles to honorable members, the Speaker, is that the precedent we should set? If the honorable minority that can explain the meaning of that title, because the literal meaning of Osahiri means a warrior, a war leader. So, is it going to turn this micro minority into a war group? Mr. Speaker, I don't think we should go further with this.
And I've also realized that members have taken time to correct some names. But this is just a humble reminder to my friends on the majority bench. I can count 61 absentees from your side. This is just the first day. This is just the first day. So
Honorable Minority Leader, relevance.
Yes, very
relevance.
Just day one.
Relevance.
Mr. Speaker, yes. Mr. Speaker,
relevance.
yes, Mr. Speaker, I agree. Mr. Speaker, allow me. Mr. Speaker, the role of the opposition is to scrutinize and to bring to attention certain key matters that are of concern. I am saying that this is just the first day, and this side is your back. It's not ours. All over, you have 61 absentees, just day one. 61 absentees from the majority, day one, 61. You have 61 appointees. I'm just bringing to attention. So you encourage your members to come. We are full. Mr. Speaker, look at our back. Mr. Speaker, look behind me. This is a strong minority. Look behind me. We are solid. You have 61. Look at all the seats empty. Here, all these places are for you. All over. Mr. Speaker, I'm helping them. That is all. I'm helping them.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I thought the former majority leader that has been reduced to a minority leader will be talking about whether there's a quorum to do business. You know, proudly, I want to tell him, even with the so-called 61 that he claims are absent, we have enough members to do business and to beat you if we want to. So, I can tell you that we are so fortified that we can afford to have 61 members having a meeting outside and continue to do business in this house. That is how solid we are.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I don't know which spirit is worrying the minority leader. But Mr. Speaker, for your information, 28 MPs from the Greater Accra are in a meeting now. We've just said that they should come. But Mr. Speaker, the minority leader should know that when you were doing the recall, he was even not here. So he's just trying to He is trying to behave like the Honorable K.T. Hammond.
Honorable members, may we have some calm. The minority leader is on his feet. Let's listen to him. Well, they rose up in support of him.
Yes.
So let's listen to him.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, with respect, I shall, in response to what you just said about your duty to protect the micro minority. Mr. Speaker, the rules of this House provide for the minority and the majority. Mr. Speaker, we do not have any micro minority. Mr. Speaker, the minority caucus hereby protests. Mr. Speaker, we protest the description given to us by Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this practice of when we are on our feet, the majority will on the mic, it's not acceptable. Mr. Speaker, it's not acceptable. We are Democrats. You put off my mic. Listen to me. Mr. Speaker, we find this unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, the minority seconded your proposal and the motion for your election. Mr. Speaker, when the so-called majority was even conspiring against you, we protested. We stopped them from that conspiracy. Mr. Speaker, it was us, the minority of conscience. This minority is the conscience of this House. Today, the so-called majority could not get its members to come to the House. 61 of you are absent. Mr. Speaker, we don't accept the description micro minority. We are minority. Simplicity. Mr. Speaker, please, kindly, Mr. Speaker, describe us as such. We are the minority. We are not micro minority. I so submit.
Honorable members, this is not subject to debate. Please, this is not subject to debate. Please.
Sit down.
Please. This is not subject to debate. The minority leader, on behalf of the minority caucus, has objected to my describing their caucus as micro-minority caucus, and that this is a term that is unknown to the rules of the House.
Mr. Speaker, just few weeks ago,
my good friend was protesting heavily for being referred to as minority leader. But you were not. But today are you? Mr. Speaker, and order says that, and I read, a member shall not use offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming words on a member or any other person, or B, impugn improper motives.
Please.
Other person. Mr. Speaker, my colleague suggested that the majority was conspiring against you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have it on record when the minority leader at political functions was describing you in words that can never be used on this floor, and said, Mr. Speaker, that the greatest injustice to Parliament was to elect you as Mr. Speaker. You said that on political platform. Today, a 10-quote minority leader is now pretending he loves you more than the people who actually you belong to. We can tell you this. We can tell you this. We can tell you this. Mr. Speaker, I live, Mr. Speaker, and I know you've got the tapes and the videos. But what I will say is that for the fact that he described us as conspiring against you, he must actually withdraw that part of the statement now and apologize to us.
And apologize.
And Mr. Speaker, hold on, Mr. Speaker, he described us as the so-called majority. Look at you this way and look at this. Is this a so-called majority? Do you describe this as a so-called majority? This is a proper majority. And this is, Mr. Speaker, the size of this, let me repeat, the size of this looks like my district assembly. The size of this looks like the size of my district assembly. Do you like that one? Mr. Speaker, he must necessarily withdraw. This side did not and will never conspire to do anything against you. If the last person, the last group of people who undermine you, Mr. Speaker, will not be this side. If the other people who do it, we can guarantee you will get our support today, you will get our support tomorrow, because you are doing the right thing. So he must withdraw.
Speaker, I am grateful that you recognize me. Just to share a few words. Speaker, Kwame, so Kwame, are you telling me to sit down? Can you tell me to sit down? Joke. Speaker, you can't tell me to sit down. In this house, the rules that we use. You can't tell me to sit down. Get the attention of the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for recognizing me. First of all, the order my colleague quoted, and if you read further, order 1, 2, 3, if you read further, subclause 3, the inherent condition is stated there. It will lie in the mouth of the Speaker to determine if indeed those words were used. I hope you recognize that. Then again, going beyond that, Speaker, going beyond that, I am 4th term in this House. Would you listen to me? Would you listen? Speaker, would you listen to me? Speaker, 4th term in this House. This is the first time. This is the first time, and I'm saying this in context. If you pay attention, you get the context in which I'm speaking to. This is the first time President-elect has to issue a statement, more or less whipping you to nominate the President, to nominate Speaker for the position of speakership. Why? And that's very revealing. It was because there were things happening at your backyard, and the President-elect picked the due intelligence. That is why he had to come out with that statement. This has never happened. So for the leader to say that all was not well at your back, the evidence is all over. And in fact, it took the minority, it took the support and the consent of the minority for us to elect the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if on both sides, Speaker, on both sides, if there is any side that you should be careful, it's the majority. You should be very careful of the majority. They were the people who were planning for you not to be elected. So please, don't miss the point.
Thank you.
Don't miss the point. It took our blessings for the speaker to be elected. So stop boasting. It took our blessings. Speaker, back to the point. So order 1, 2, 3 should be quoted in whole. My good friend Honorable Abuja should quote order 1, 2, 3 in whole. Order 1, 2, 3 sub-clause 3 is clear. And we don't need to belabor the point. We don't need to mess it up. Speaker, thank you. The motion move, except to add that I wondered why the majority leader, without any disrespect to him, he's not a member of the selection committee. He was not at the meeting. I just saw it. The whole day, I haven't seen you. He just walked in. It's without any prejudice and without any disrespect. Why him? Why the minority leader? Because he has been here the whole day. Your good friend, the minority leader, has been here the whole day. Speaker, I have been here the whole day. Honorable Kwame Agboja has been here the whole day. Speaker, he just walked in. Speaker, I'm not challenging your powers. And I know you have the right to select anybody. But we have been here the whole day. And we understand these matters. He has not been here. I don't know if he's still lobbying and he's still moving the corridors of power lobbying. But he has not been here. He was not, Speaker, he is not, Doctor, you are not a member of the selection committee. Why are you in a hurry to move this motion? Speaker, I think he has.
Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I can understand Honorable Anodom Prayer. Speaker, I can understand him in the sense that he's 1 day old in opposition and he's trying to experiment how opposition looks like. And so, Speaker, I'm sure he wants to communicate to his constituents that he is now opposition chief whip. Welcome to the club. Speaker, I was asked by your good self to move the motion on your behalf. Right, Honorable Speaker, you are the chairperson of that committee, the Committee of Selection. I'm only a member of the committee. And so, Mr. Speaker, you have the right to ask any of the members of the committee to move a motion on your behalf. I'm only doing what you've asked me to do, Mr. Speaker. And rightly so, I urge him to second the motion for us to make progress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I heard you second the motion.
I'm convinced that he's working on other matters in our collective interest. So to that end, I would rather suspend my commentaries and second the motion.
Honorable members, the horse bolted before his submission. He could have, from the onset, when I mandated the majority leader to move the motion, raised the issue that he raised after seconding the motion. But since he didn't do that and seconded the motion and now proceeded to say what he said, it was too late in the day and the matter became not relevant after the secondment of the motion. So please, honorable members, we'll proceed and I put the question. Those in favor of motion number 10 on the order paper, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. We now move to item 11 on the order paper. Yes, Majority Leader. Oh, the horse hasn't come back. I can give you opportunity if you want to talk.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopt the report of the Committee of Selection on the composition of the Appointment and Business Committees. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I will present the committee's report and move straight to item 3.0, recommendations. Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends as follows. 1, that considering the urgent need to facilitate the business of the House and that of government, the committee, in the meantime, composes the membership of the Business and Appointment Committees to the House for approval. Right Honourable Speaker, the committee also recommended that per the approval ratio of 183 to 88 and the convention and practices of the House, 15 members of the Business Committee works out to 10 members of the Majority Caucus and 5 for the Minority Caucus. In respect of the Appointment Committee, 11 members of the committee works out to 7 members for Majority Caucus and 4 members for the Minority Caucus. Right Honourable Speaker, in Order 2172, which requires that additional members from relevant committees would join the members of the Appointment Committee in the performance of its duty, the committee resolves that work as soon as practicable will be done and submit the membership for the rest of the committees for approval of the House, and that the composition of the 3 committees are captured in tables 1, 2, and 3. That can be found in page 3, page 4, and page 5. The Speaker, the conclusion is that the committee respectfully recommends to the House to adopt this report and approve the membership of Appointment and Business Committee as composed and recomposition of the committees of selection based on the ratio of 183 to 88. The Speaker, I so submit.
Honourable members, any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader cannot just move a motion and expect this House to second for us to make progress when there are fundamental matters, including issues of quorum. Mr. Speaker, he as Majority Leader should know that there are new members of this House. This morning I checked and I drew his attention that there are a lot of empty seats in this chamber. He knows that members are here and you are the leader of the House. Your duty, ensure that matters of welfare are attended to. It is your duty. Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
please, you are a leader.
Mr. Speaker,
the issue you just mentioned at conclave, we discussed it at conclave. So it's not for you to raise it now on the please.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I am guided by your good counsel. Mr. Speaker, the appeal is not coming from behind me. It's coming more from the other side. So I spoke for the silent majority. Mr. Speaker, I spoke for the silent majority. Oh, so you don't want your welfare. Oh, okay. It's not coming from the new MPs. You are an old MP. You are an old MP. The new ones, you are not interested? The new ones, you are not interested? Oh, you are not interested? Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion.